Good afternoon. On the national news this hour from BGI Television, Babagbagide Imo TV. First, the headlines. FG to distribute 25,000 naira monthly across 15 million houses. 42,000 metric tons of grains ready for distributions, FG declares. Adopt same FX rate from importation to clearance, CBN tells customs. CBN mandates sellers above 10,000 US dollar to declare sources. Buhari not Tinubu responsible for wrath in Nigeria, says Igboho. On sports, Nigerian sets new records in shot put. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. The news in detail. The federal government is set to distribute 25,000 naira monthly across 15 million households nationwide as part of measures to minimize the level of economic hardship faced by Nigerians. Since coming to office last year, President Bola Tinubu ended fuel subsidies and currency controls, leading to a tripling of petrol prices and a spike in living costs as the naira slid against the dollar. The policies of the current administration have subjected many Nigerians to suffer an economic crisis with soaring inflation, leaving many people struggling to afford food. Many citizens have taken to the streets to register their displeasure with Tinubu's style of leadership. Speaking during an exclusive interview, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, said the federal government is working to alleviate the hardship, especially for the poor and vulnerable. The presidency on Fridays revealed that the 42,000 metric tons of grains aid promised for nationwide release 2 weeks ago are being backed for distribution. It added that the remaining 60,000 metric tons of grains would be purchased from the Rice Millers Association of Nigeria. Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, revealed this in a statement he signed on Friday night titled Update on Tinubu's Administration's Effort to Ramp Up Food Supply in the Country. As a temporary response to the nation's growing food crisis and rising price of commodities, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on February 8th ordered the immediate release of 102,000 metric tons of various grains types from the Strategic Reserve and the Rice Millers Association of Nigeria. Deliberations began in earnest after angry youth and women took to the streets of Minna, the Niger state capital, and Kano to protest what they describe as the rising cost of living in the country. Similar protests also erupted in Ondo State, Nigeria's southwest, and Oyo State. Giving an update on the strategy, the president said the Tinubu administration, through the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, is in the final stages of releasing 42,000 metric tons of assorted food commodities to support the vulnerable population across the country. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has asked the Nigerian Customs Service, NCS, to adopt the same forex rate from the importation of goods to its clearance in the country. The directive was contained in a circular on Friday by the Apex Bank's Director of Trade and Exchange Department, Hassan Mahmoud, saying the constant changes in custom duties rates have led to pricing irregularities, resulting in unpredictable increases in the final cost of goods in the market. It instructed the NCS to adopt the FX closing rate on the dates of Form M submission by importers for the clearance of goods and imported duty. The directive is aimed at curbing the disruption caused by frequent updates on the customs website regarding forex market liberalization. And to the next story. The Central Bank of Nigeria has mandated foreign exchange sellers, the Bureau de Change BDC, of the equivalent of $10,000 and above to declare their forex sources. Haruna Mustafa, Director of Financial Policy and Regulation Department of the CBN, said these in a revised regulatory framework to curtail excesses of BDCs and check uncertainty in the forex exchange market. Mustafa said that such sellers would also be required to comply with all anti-money laundering, combating the financing of terrorism regulations. They said that the guidelines would significantly enhance the regulatory framework for the operations of BDCs as part of ongoing reforms of the Nigerian foreign exchange market. According to him, the guidelines revises the permissible activities, licensing requirements, corporate governance, and AML/CFL provisions for BDCs. It also sets out new record keeping and report requirements, among others. It reads: And to the next story. Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, has described the assertion made by some Nigerians that President Bola Tinubu is responsible for the wrath in the country. Tinubu, who was sworn in on May 29, 2023, announced the removal of subsidy during his first address, a decision that increased the cost of petrol and economic inflation. This is against the backdrop that the Buhari-led government did not make the provisions for petroleum subsidies in the 2023 budget. Speaking during the visit to the palace of the monarch of Igboho town in Oyo State on Friday, Adeyemo said, "Some people believe it is Tinubu that spoils the country. It is not Tinubu. When Buhari was in government, I was shouting for us Yoruba to be united and free ourselves from slavery, saying that Buhari did not have anything to offer us. Let's free ourselves and divide Nigeria. Some people were saying it is what he will eat and that he's looking for." Buhari handed over spoiled Nigeria to Tinubu. Tinubu spent 6 months in office. We are cursing him. What has he done? And to the next story, the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has ordered the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria (FAN) to show the total annual generated revenue from toll gates and parking lot fees in all federal government-owned airports and how much it remitted from January 2015 till January 2024. Justice Ibrahim Kala, who granted the order, also compelled FAN, the respondent, to provide details of the revenue to a public interest applicant, the registered trustees of the Center for Law and Civil Culture. The judge gave the federal agency 3 months to comply with the order. The applicant filed a suit following the respondent's failure to accede to its Freedom of Information request of August 24, 2022. The applicant, through its counsel B.O. Fowowe, argued, among other things, that his failure was in gross violation of the Freedom of Information FOI Act 2011. You are watching the national news from BGI Television, and finally is the sports story. A US-based Nigerian, Chukwu Ebuka Enekwachi, has set a new African record of 21.63 meters in the shot put at an Olympic qualifier in the Czech Republic. Solomon Ogba, the first vice president of Nigeria Olympic Committee (NOC), made it known in a statement on Friday. Ogba, a former president of the Athletic Federation of Nigeria (AFN), also stated that Ekwachi's achievement is an Olympic qualifier. Enekwachi has also just landed a big indoor personal best (PP) of 21.63 meters in the men's shot put at the Edvard V. Nevzat in Czech Republic. The whole event took place in Czech Republic. He broke the indoor African record of 21.47 meters that has stood since 2001 by Janus Robert of South Africa, and put together his best series ever in the event, going over 21 meters on every attempt. With that sports story, we've come to the end of today's national news. Before we go, some headlines. FG to distribute 25,000 naira monthly across 15 million households. 42,000 metric tons of grains ready for distribution, FG declares. Adopt same FX rate for importation to clearance, CBN tells customs. CBN mandate sellers above $10,000 to declare sources. Buhari, not Tinubu, responsible for wrath in Nigeria, Sunday Igboho. On sport, Nigerian sets new African record in shot puts, NOC official speaks. For update of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Bagade Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagade Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawal.
Audio Jungle.